Hi there, welcome to my Astrology Basics Notion template page. I am someone who really fell in love with astrology ever since I was a young kid, and as I've gotten older, I have just been more and more curious, and I kind of went a little crazy and really dug deep into astrology and all the different aspects of it. I'm no way a pro, but I will say that I have always been very into it, and I have done a lot of reading and watching videos of other people talking about it, and so I really wanted to create my own template where I can keep track of different things and information about myself and just about all of the different signs and everything that goes into it. So I will break down this template and kind of give you some navigation of where to find different types of information, but overall it's just a very fun place to kind of play around with, and I use it to just quickly figure out any basic information that I need about different planets, signs, houses, and I also use it to keep track of just current things that are happening every single day with the planets. So I will dig into each of these different pages and kind of give you some information that is housed in each of the page. But first, let's take a quick look at the home page. This is your natal chart. So this is for you. We've got the rising sign / ascendant, sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, and so on and so forth. So you can go in here and you can click in what you are. So for me, over here, you can put in your name, your date of birth time, and your birth location, and then you can filter in what your rising sign is. I am a Cancer rising, so that is just a quick little blurb of the information of a Cancer rising. And the planet that is associated with Cancer is the moon, so this is just a quick blurb about the moon. So I've got down here a screenshot of my birth chart. So I just like to have this because then it's easier for me to kind of just get a quick glance of the different planets and just see my birth chart real quick. And also I used it to kind of fill in this information up here. So I know all of my houses and my signs at this point because I've been into astrology for so long, but if this is empty for you, as it should be, so again, you could fill in whichever one you are, and then you would just go down the list and fill in for each of the different planets, and then you can put what degree they are. And then the element and modality automatically populate depending on which sign you are for each of the different planets. So Cancer is a water and a cardinal sign. So these two columns automatically populate. You only have to fill in the signs and the degree. And then over here, if you like to keep track of the current planets, then you can come in here every day and you can fill in where the planets are in the sign as of today, and then the degree, and again the element modality will automatically populate. Again, down here, we kind of get more into the houses, so you can come over, and this is the table view. So these are all the 12 houses, and you can fill in what sign you are. So since I'm a Cancer rising, my first house is Cancer, and then it just goes down through the line. So Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and then whatever planets you have in those houses, you can fill that in here. And then when you go back to the gallery view, you can see what each of your houses are ruled by and the planets that are in each house. So just a quick overview. If I want to see my 8th house, which is about intimacy, my 8th house is ruled by Aquarius, and I have Uranus and Neptune in that house. So this is just a quick glance of all of the different signs that rule each house and the different planets that are in each house. All right, so now we're going to get into all of the different pages. So the first page is called Rising Signs, and it is just quick information about all 12 signs and what they kind of represent. So here is all the rising signs: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and here is a quick blurb about them, and then the planet that rules them, and then just a quick blurb about each planet and what it is characterized by. So Aries, they're very bold, energetic, and assertive, and they are ruled by Mars, and Mars is very, very bold, energetic, straightforward. So this just kind of can help you understand your rising sign, because really, when you look at your horoscope, you're supposed to be looking at your rising sign, not your sun sign. And a lot of people don't know that who are new to astrology. But your rising sign is the first house. So I just so happen that I am a Cancer rising and a Cancer sun. So it works out for me that I've always been reading the Cancer horoscope and I just also am a Cancer rising, so it worked out well for me. But a lot of people read their sun sign and not their rising sign horoscope. So this is just to help you understand rising signs, because they are very important to understanding you as a whole, because they start off your entire birth chart. First, let me kind of mention this little part. So planets are like the actors, signs are the roles that they play, and houses are the area of life. So each house represents a different aspect of your life: self, relationships, career, subconscious, yada yada yada. Your signs are the roles that they play. So Cancer is very nurturing, they're very mother-like, they're a water sign, they're sensitive. Gemini is very intellectual, they like to communicate. And the planets are the different actors. So the sun is, very bright. It likes to be the center of attention. The moon is very emotional, only comes out at night. It changes signs every 2 to 3 days, so its emotions are all over the place. Mars is very aggressive. It's a planet of war, so it's a very high intensity planet. So planets are the actors, signs are the role that they play, and houses are the area of life. So that is kind of a good way to understand the difference between the three and how they all play a factor. So this is the planets page, and it tells you just more information about each planet. It tells you what sign rules it. It tells you just a key word. It tells you how long the planet is in each sign, and just some basic information about all the planets. This helps you to fill in your information about each of the different planets. So when we click into the sun here, we can see all of this different information. So right here is where we fill in your house and your sign. So in your chart, you'll fill in those different things here. So if the sun is in Leo in your chart, then you would put in Leo, and if it's in your 5th house, then you would change this to be your 5th house. And this last tab is about the planets in each sign. So astrology is very complicated because there are so many different possibilities and everything works differently. Just because you have someone who has a lot of similarities doesn't mean that everything is going to be exactly the same, because all the planets work and talk with each other. So if you wanted to come in here, so for me, the sun is in my 1st house, so it represents a strong sense of self-identity and self-expression. For me, the moon is in my 4th house, so it is emotionally rooted in family and home life, strong attachment to ancestral roots and heritage. So you can just come in here and you can look at yourself or really anybody and just kind of get a quick glance, a quick blurb to help them understand different parts of them. So lastly, if you drill into any of the planets and you hit open, it'll pull up this side view, and this is where you can find the information that's on this chart right here, but this is also where in the My Planets you can fill in your sign in your house. And then down here, each of these have all this information. So it's just another way to look at it in more depth. So the planets in each sign, it was just bullet points, but this is kind of where that information came from. So I've got a quick understanding of what Venus represents. So Venus is all about love and joy. It reflects your pleasure, artistic endeavors. Venus is the planet of beauty, so it just gives a quick blurb of Venus, and then it tells you what Venus is like in each of the 12 houses. So Venus for me is in my 12th house. Kind of sad, but it's okay. It is what it is. We can't decide when we're born. So Venus in the 12th house, it influences the subconscious mind, spirituality, and hidden emotions. So it's kind of it's just the 12th house is the last house of the chart, so it is more about your subconscious mind. So it can be a little difficult sometimes, but I just make it work. So you can look at the planet in each of the 12 houses, but you can also look at Venus and what it is ruled by. So my Venus is ruled by Gemini. So I have a versatile and intellectual stimulating approach to love. So I enjoy having relationships where I can communicate a lot about any and everything, not just communicate with my partner about our relationship, but about anything in life. So it's just really nice to kind of be able to just learn deeper about yourself in all of the different planets and all the different signs. So This is where you drill in and get this paragraph to help you understand more about whatever you want to learn about, whatever planet, whatever sign, whatever house. So this is kind of how the layout is for the planets, the sign, and the houses. But let's go over to signs next. So here are the 12 signs. My favorite is Cancer because I'm a Cancer sun and a Cancer rising. So I'm very biased. I love Cancers. I love Libras. I have a Libra moon. I love Geminis. I have a Gemini, Mars, and Venus. So this just helps you to understand the signs on a deeper level. At Cancer, so Cancer, the phrase is I feel. Cancer is a very nurturing sign. It's all about being a maternal figure. So they're very in touch with their feelings. They're a water sign, so very, very sensitive. This is a quick little blurb, and it helps you to understand the different planets and where they feel at home. So the sun loves to be in Leo because Leo rules the sun. And it likes to be in Aries, but it does not like to be in Libra or Aquarius. So over here, it tells you what the domicile, exaltation, fall, and exile mean. Venus loves to be in Taurus and Libra. It is exalted or strengthened in Pisces, and it's challenging in Virgo and discomfort in Scorpio and Aries. So this is just kind of a quick overview. If you ever heard someone talk about, planets in its fall or its on exaltation, then this is what they are talking about. The last tab is again a quick bullet point of an overview of what each sign is in each planet. So if your sun is in Aries, you have a high energy, assertiveness, and a pioneering spirit. And a lot of these can kind of feel repetitive, but that's kind of how you get to learn things and understand it better. It's just kind of hearing it over and over again. So let's see. So let's do another example. If your Mars is in Leo, then you are very confident, creative, and have a dramatic, expressive style of action. If your moon is in Gemini, you're emotional, curiosity, adaptability, and a need for mental stimulation. So this is just a quick way to kind of figure out if you're curious or someone asks you a question about it and they're like, my Venus is in Virgo, what does it mean? You can say you're very practical, you have attention to detail, and a desire for order and usefulness in love and relationships. But again, we'll dig into Libra here and we'll see the side pop up, and it tells you just all of the information. And this gives you all the information about Libra. So again here, Libra is, I have a moon in Libra and it's in my 4th house. So here's the Libra archetype, and then this is a shorter version, but still good information, and it tells you what the planets in Libra are like, and then Libra in each house. So if you've got your Jupiter in Libra, Jupiter feels expansive and fair-minded in Libra. Growth and expansion come through partnerships and the ability to find balance and harmony in relationships. And then Libra in your 9th house, individuals have a love for knowledge and a desire for intellectual growth. They may be drawn to philosophical, spiritual, or other subjects that explore the deeper meaning of life. They may also have a passion for travel and may enjoy exploring different cultures and belief systems. So again, with astrology, everything's not going to be 100% correct or perfect because everything works together. So if you have a lot of planets in a certain house, then maybe that house kind of takes over some of the other planets. So this is just kind of a basic understanding of the houses, the signs, and the planets. But once you kind of get more into aspects, which is just a deeper meaning of all the planets working together, if they're conjunct, opposite, square, all that type of stuff, that is how you can just go even deeper into astrology. So the houses are the easiest of the 3 to kind of learn because it's just what do they represent. So the 8th house is about intimacy. It's about sharing values and feelings. It's about transformation, intimacy, shared resources, mysteries. The 5th house is about creativity. It's about romance, fun, self-expression. So depending on your rising sign is depending on where your houses start. So because I am a Cancer rising, my 1st house starts with Cancer. And then my 2nd house is Leo. My 3rd house is Virgo, so on and so forth. So this is the related sign when we're talking about a person who starts with Aries rising, because Aries is the first sign of the houses. So it goes from Aries all the way to Pisces, but if you are a Libra rising, then your first house is ruled by Libra. So you can look at your birth chart, and your birth chart will tell you where your rising house is. So again, my first house is ruled by Cancer, and I have my sun in my first house. My second house is ruled by Leo, and I have Mercury in my second house. So for me having 2 planets in my 12th house, then I have more Gemini energy. Same thing with Aquarius. I have Uranus and Neptune in those, so I just have a little bit more of Aquarius energy. If you have 3 or more, they call that a stellium, so you might have a lot of that type of energy. And then, again, quick little blurb, bullet points of just what each house means. So because my first house is ruled by Cancer, individuals may have a nurturing and sensitive approach to their self-expression. Again, kind of repetitive, but it helps you to understand them because there are 12 and 12, so 144 boxes to kind of learn over here. So my 6th house is ruled by Sagittarius, and this gives you a quick 6th house meaning. And work, it has to deal with work, health, routine, and service. Represents an individual's approach to work and daily responsibilities, as well as their physical well-being and self-practices. All right, so now that we have a basic understanding of our rising sign and the importance of that, and we've drilled into the different planets, signs, and houses, the last big piece of astrology is the moving planets. All right, this is the final part of this template. These are the moving planets. This is what happens every single day. Our planets are always moving around us. We're always moving. The universe is constantly expanding. So this will help us understand how they talk to each other. So there are 2 different parts of moving planets. You've got movements in the present day and movements in relation to your birth chart. So every single day we're having a new moon, a full moon, retrogrades, aspects, ingresses. That's stuff that's happened currently. But you also have to take in consideration that you have a birth chart. So when you're born, the planets were in a certain place. So as the planets are moving around today, they are still having communications and returns and transits with how the planets were when you were born. So the sun, your birthday, it returns every year. So when you have your birthday, it's about you because the sun is about the ego. It's about being the center of attention. So that's why, everyone gets super excited when it is their birthday because it's all about you. So let's drill into the new moon and full moon. So today is Sunday, March 9th, and I have this widget and it tells us that the moon is 9 days old. So here we can track all the new moons and the full moons. We can say what sign they are and what house they're happening in. And then down here we just have more information about what a new moon is, a quick blurb, keywords. So new moons are fresh start, setting intentions, new beginnings, and then what they mean in all 12 signs. So if we have a new moon in Cancer, it means the energy of this new moon is nurturing, emotional, and focused on home and family. It's time for setting intentions related to emotional healing, self-care, and creating a supportive environment. And then we've got the full moon. Again, a quick blurb of what a full moon represents. We've got keywords, completion, release, illumination, reflection, and then what it means in all 12 signs. So this is where the magic kind of happens. So when we have a new moon or a full moon, you can look it up. There are so many different astrologers out there who talk about changes in the planets on a day-to-day basis. So you would just want to add a new page. And we'll say we're having a new moon. And it comes up with this prompt here. You come down here and you can put in the date of completion. You can put your main theme. And you can set intentions for the new moon and what will come from your intentions. And then you can pull tarot cards, past, present, future, and then information about how you feel from the card, what the card represents, and how it relates to me. So this is just kind of what you can fill in when you have new moons and full moons. Okay, so this is the other part of planets moving around. You have your returns. So when a planet, like the sun, you have your birthday every year, because it takes approximately 30 days to go through each sign, so about 365 days for the sun to go from your birthday all the way around back to your birthday. So it's a year. The moon, it goes around all 12 signs in about 30 days. Mercury takes 88 days, Venus 225 days, so on and so forth. This is a quick blurb of what a planet return is. You can use this link and it'll help you to figure out based off of your birth chart when your planets are set to return. So I had my Venus return in its sign of Gemini in my 12th house, and it happened on June 1st, 2024. And then you can open up here and you can write again a quick blurb of what it was like. So this is what the blurb looks like. You will put in the date that it's happening, or if it's over a long period of time, you can put an end date and it'll give you a date range. So you could put it here and then click the toggle and there if that's how long it is taking to return. You would put whatever planet it is. So let's say it is Mercury and it's happening in my sign of Leo because that's where my Mercury is at. It's happening in my 2nd house. And we are having a conjunction. And the energy, if it is 2 planets that are good, then it's high energy. If it's 2 planets that are bad, then it can be a discord. But this case, it is a return, so it's the same planet. My Mercury is returning back to its home Mercury on the day that I was born. So you can come in here and you can say what was life like before the return and then after the return. And then you can just answer these little prompts. What are we supposed to learn from the return, and did the return bring what we expected? And then you can do a quick journal. So you can drill into each of these different pages and it'll tell you all of the information that you need to know about all of the different aspects, ingresses, returns, yada yada yada. And you can then use the calendar view if you want to see what is happening throughout the month, but you can also just click into each of these and you can see what is happening close to the current time. So that is a quick tutorial of my Astrology Basics Notion template page. I know that it is a lot of information and it can be confusing and you don't always know what to do or where to go to find what you need, but the more you play around in here, the more you kind of start to understand how everything works. And you can always check out my Pinterest. I have screenshots of different things and what they mean, and I will try to upload videos of me actually doing different tasks in here so that way it's easier for you guys to kind of start to understand and see what is supposed to happen. But I like to just be a very curious person, so I always buy templates and just play around with them and kind of figure out what happens. But if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. I will leave my email down below and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. I hope you enjoy my template and I'll talk to you next time.